It is 7 p.m. I am calling this Germantown School District Board of Education meeting to order. If you could all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and the moment of silence. Thank you. Official meeting notification, Dr. Southland.
Public notice of all meetings has been given by communication from the superintendent's office to the public, to those news media who have requested such notices, and to the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Northwest Now, Express News, and West Bend Daily News. Public notice has also been posted in schools throughout the district and on the gsdwi.org website, as well as cable access channel 96.
Roll call.
Medved.
Here.
Barney.
Here.
Reineman here. Soderberg.
Here.
Loaf.
Here.
Gordon.
Here.
Pollock.
Here.
Item 2, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Any discussion?
Just like to make note that we will not be having a closed session after a board meeting.
Correct. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Item 3, reports. Item A, student representative reports. Dr. Southland.
Yes, Hannah DeGrace from the high school will present the student report.
Welcome, Hannah.
Hi. All right, so Amy Bell students have been very busy doing mid-year assessments for reading and math. As a school, they began working on activities that help the kids understand what respect looks like and in ways to practice showing respect. The students have enjoyed having snow outside to play in, especially building with it. And the Dinner with the Arts PTA event is coming up in February, so class baskets are being created for that. County line students will work on honesty this month. 18 students from each grade, or around the whole school, were recognized for their outstanding superhero behavior throughout the month of January and were nominated as January Comet Superheroes. Congratulations to the 2021 County Line Spelling Bee champion, Aria Proofer, and runner-up Carl Hunton. They will both advance to the regional spelling bee in February. Rockfield students have been working a lot on writing, and they enjoy it as well. The Capco toy drive was a huge success, and many less fortunate children had smiles on their faces due to the generosity of families at that school. PTA has some fun things in the works for this semester, including a readathon coming up in February. This month at MacArthur Elementary, the K-5 through 3rd graders are finishing up their emotions unit and learning about how to calm down strong feelings. The 4th graders are learning about different occupations, and the 5th graders are continuing to work on their G-Talks. In addition, the PTA is hosting the famous Mac Carnival on February 25th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. This event will be filled with fun family activities like games, inflatables, cakewalk, horse races, basket raffle, silent auction, and of course, food. Kennedy Middle School Student Council helped raise over $1,000 through their Kennedy's Care fundraiser. $400 was donated to seasonal giving, and $700 was given to Make-A-Wish. The boys' basketball and wrestling season has come to an end, but there's an extended congratulations to the 8th grade boys' basketball team for coming in first place in their conference. In addition, girls' volleyball tryouts will begin on the 31st of this month. Miss Quigley's special education class is collecting new or gently used athletic sneakers. All shoes that are collected will be shipped to micro-enterprises in 27 different developing countries around the world. Here they are cleaned, fixed, and then used as inventory to support those small businesses. Your donated shoes will allow families to pave a path out of poverty through a hand up, not a hand out model. Please consider donating. Drop off your new or gently used sneakers at KMS by Friday, February 28th. KMS's FBLA chapter is getting ready for its very first ever regional competition. The FBLA Middle School Regional Competition will be held on Saturday, February 17th at Oconomowoc High School. We wish all of KMS the best of luck. And now for Germantown. Congratulations to senior Hunter Brandenburg and junior Lily Wagner for their nominations for the Milwaukee High School Sports Awards in boys and girls volleyball. In addition, congratulations to Jade Cannonberg. She was selected to the Bands of American Honor Band and performed in the 2022 Rose Bowl Parade on January 1st. The BOA Honor Band is a 320-piece national ensemble with winds, percussion, and a flag and dance team. The members represent 213 schools from 39 of the United States, and they gathered for the first time on December 27th to spend a week in Southern California for rehearsals, performances at the Tournament of Roses Bandfest and Disneyland, special activities, and a featured appearance in the Rose Parade on New Year's Day, and for a broadcast worldwide. And that is all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Item B, return to school update. Dr. Stoughton.
So a couple things, one thing we've been very surprised at is our numbers continue to, they peaked, I shouldn't say they peaked, they've become higher than they were prior to the holiday break, but we're still managing the numbers. You can see, this is community numbers, and I don't know if you can see the graphic, but there's this huge spike that goes up to over 2,000 cases. Again, this is community, but you can also see the drop, pretty significant drop. And then if you're looking at area schools, I mean, we're 4 times more cases in schools that were in transmission level than we're seeing. But again, for whatever reason, this graphic is the one that we look at daily to know how are we operating as a school, how many kids are absent. We look at it from grade level to the whole school. Middle school has been the highest recently, 2.5%. They hit 3% at one point. But in comparison, there's districts that are hitting 10, 11%. So we are managing our numbers, and that's that. It's just, and we're, like I said, we're surprised, and everything that we're hearing is that we should be about 2 weeks away from all numbers getting better. Now, nobody really knows, but that's what people are saying. So, yeah, and that's it.
Okay.
Any questions? Yes.
Any impact on staff over the holidays? Because as you know, my household, we had a super spreader event where of the 18 people that attended for a week and a half, 15 got COVID. And it really was a non-issue, just cold-like symptoms. But if it happened to us, and we were all boosted, by the way, except for my 2 grandchildren, what about impact on staff?
Yeah, we've been okay. I mean, if you look just this last week alone, I know it wasn't right after break, but we had 6 or 7 a day. But again, spread out, we were able to manage it, and now the numbers have gone down a little bit. The one thing that's helped us is the 5-day return. That's where it was hurting having staff in our building having 10 days out, or 12 or 14. So the 5 days has helped us stay more afloat.
Well, based on media reports this morning, the numbers are going down. Mm-hmm. Hospital beds are opening up, and ICU beds are opening up, which is good. Mm-hmm. And even over in the UK, things tend to happen on that side of the pond, and then we get it over on our side of the pond. In the UK, and I believe in Ireland, they're relaxing their COVID restrictions, which is wonderful. So hopefully there is light at the end of the tunnel on this whole thing. So,
Mr. Love?
Yeah, Brett, just wondering, of the list of schools that you had up, are any of those schools masking?
Yes, some of them are. I know for certain that Mequon Elementary is. I can't speak for their middle school or high school, and they're at 966. I don't believe any of the other ones on here. I think they have masks optional.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Okay, thank you. Moving on to item C, United Sound presentation.
Yes, I'll have Mr. Lamb introduce his group, but before they, or as they're coming up, I just want to point out, I don't know if you can see on the map, but this is, United Sound is a program that they'll explain what it is, but we are right now, we're the only school in the state that participates in this program. Mr. Lamb.
Good evening. We're very fortunate, as Mr. Stouchland was saying, to have a chapter of United Sound here at the high school. United Sound is a national organization. I might just pick this up. United Sound is a national organization that provides professional development opportunities to educators, leadership opportunities to students, for the purpose of allowing students to learn to play musical instruments who otherwise may not have that opportunity. So this evening, we have here to tell you a little bit more about United Sound. We have students Caden Becker and Annabelle Piotrowski, as well as staff members Lisa Densing and John Bell.
As Mr. Lamb and Stousen said, music is for all people, and United Sound is a program that brings music to our special needs students who, when in 6th grade, most of our students begin playing an instrument, not quite ready for it. I learned about United Sound while attending the Music for All Summer Symposium at Ball State University, and brought it, which is a band camp many of our students and obviously directors go to. With the help of and guidance of Matt Jolliffe, assistant principal at the time here at the high school, and Sarah Nerdle, we started off with 4 musicians and 12 mentors in the 1920 school year. This year we have 6 musicians and 18 mentors. As the map shows, we are still the only chapter in Wisconsin. Hopefully that is changing soon. Several neighboring schools, including Menominee Falls, have been reaching out, and how can they get one going at their school as well. I'm going to hand off to Mrs. Densing as we go through.
Hi, I'm Lisa Densing, and I am the Special Education Advisor for United Sound. And I just have to say I've really enjoyed being able to do this, not just for our musicians learning music. I mean, that's been a lot of fun. They've got a great curriculum, self-paced, adapted, so more kids can learn music. But it's really been watching the students' leadership, team building, the social, problem solving. It's student-led, and so our students, have to problem solve how they're going to make this work, not give up, keep going. So it's just been a lot of fun. Since it is student-led, though, we're going to turn it over to our student president, Annabelle.
Hello. I am one of the 18 mentors in our chapter, and so we are teaching our musicians how to play our instruments. So we are doing it in small groups. We have 3 mentors per musician, and we all work together to teach them the instrument of their choice. So they pick an instrument when they first start, and then they grow, and with a mentor of that instrument and other instruments, they learn how to play. We learn to play together, and then we slowly build and start to create music for our concert. So as one of the mentors, I help to write the pieces for the concert, and because we know the musicians so well, we get to help pick what their favorite notes are and put those into our pieces, among other things. And then so as one of the presidents of our chapter here in Wisconsin, I join a meeting virtually every month to talk with other presidents from around the nation. And so therefore we brainstorm how to problem solve around our issues and have other activities to build upon and join in to build together to help our musicians grow better. And then I have a couple of questions for Caden. So we've done several different activities this year, haven't we? Right? Yeah? All right. So we've done different activities together as well. And then I've got questions for Caden. So what instrument do you play?
Clarinet.
All right. What have you learned to play so far? Like what notes?
E, F, and G. Yeah. Yeah. And soup's my favorite.
So we've taught them how to play soups, cakes, donuts, and a rest, in addition to a couple of other notes, which correlate to our half notes, our quarter notes, and eighth notes, and so that correlates to a different food rhythm. And so what is your favorite note? You said it was,
It's E.
your favorite note is E. And then, so what is your favorite part or activity that we've done at United Sound? Like we've done different cahoots and we've played as large groups and we did a balance beam activity on the floor.
I like the balance beam activity on the floor.
So I took a couple of pieces of tape and put it out on the floor, and then we walked down it differently, and we worked on a little bit of different body motions to help with our posture and playing skills as well. Have you met any new friends in United Sound?
Yeah, I have.
Do you see them in other places?
Yeah, in the hallway and then also in the cafeteria too.
Yeah. All right, so we joined in with the Wall of Sound at the Ridgefield Days Parade during the summer. Did you enjoy that? What was your favorite part?
Yeah, I liked holding the banner.
You liked holding the banner?
Walking too.
And walking too?
Yeah.
And then we've got a concert coming up, don't we? Yeah, we're learning parts for that. What about concerts is the most exciting?
I like to sing to the audience.
You like to sing to the audience? Play to the audience, yes. All right, you ready for a concert up in February?
I sure am.
Yeah. All right.
Did you have any questions or comments?
Oh, what an outstanding program. It's great to hear these kind of things going on in Germantown. We really appreciate the hard work that goes into this. You guys are doing a great job. I'll open it up to the board.
This is just fantastic. Thank you guys so much for sharing your passion with your classmates and the community. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just say that it looks like you're having a lot of fun, and I want to thank you for your leadership in this. I remember this when this came to the board a while back, and we gave you the thumbs up. I think this is wonderful. This is one of many reasons why people come to the Germantown School District, so keep up the good work.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item D, 4K update. Dr. Stousland.
Yes, so actually today is the opening day of registration for 4K, and flyers have gone out, email blasts have gone out, and we're excited just to see what kind of numbers that come in. We have locations at County Line, Amy Bell, and MacArthur where we have open classrooms. There's any questions that people might have, most of the questions. There is a Q&A section on the website, and there's a little QR code on the flyers that would take you right to the Q&A portion. A couple of the core elements of the 4K. It's really learning through play, phonemic awareness, activities, connected to a theme or the curriculum, and a lot of student voice and choice in their development. And again, it's a half-day program, and we're excited. And it's not. We're glad it's not starting next week. I'll tell you that. We have work to do yet with it, but first we need the kiddos signing up and families signing up, and then our goal is in May to have an open house at a couple of the schools to bring families in to see what the classroom will look like and answer any additional questions families have. So we're excited.
Very. Any comments, questions?
Right.
Mr. Soderberg.
Thank you for the update. Appreciate that. Are you forecasting any numbers right now on how many kiddos you're looking at, or?
No, I mean, if we look at last year's or this year's kindergarten numbers, which is like 275, 280, like we feel like that would be every 4K-er signing up, and so we backed off and set different, like if we have 100 kids sign up, here's the sites we'll use. If we have 150 kids sign up, 200 kids. So, I'm hopeful for, half of that, like 140, 150. But we'll take more, that's for sure. Yeah, and something else that's, and it's in the Q&A too that we've had received questions on is there wraparound care? And there's not, we're not having, we're hosting wraparound care, but we're going to work with other organizations in the community that have opportunities where they do childcare. So we'll bus to those locations and pick up from those locations as well, so we can help families that need that wraparound care.
Okay. Anyone else? Thank you. Item E, School Board Convention Update. Dr. Stousland.
Yes, and I'm going to have Mr. Pollock and Mr. Soderberg speak in a second, and Tracy was at the same session that I was at on 4K, and he might want to start with that.
So I was able to attend a couple of the days of the convention. I think it was a total of 4 sessions. The 4K was one of them. Fund balance, balancing short-term needs and long-term financial responsibility, and implementing high-quality curriculum. So to speak directly about the 4K session itself, it was very eye-opening in some ways. It was very informative, and in many ways, I left the session, we had a moment to talk. I left the session thinking, man, if we could do something like this and do it our way and figure all this stuff out, it made me want to be a 4K teacher in a way, because it seemed like it'd be a lot of fun and obviously helpful for the kids. So I'm looking forward to the 4K program here for sure, and see how we can take some of those ideas that we already have and maybe steal a couple and implement them here.
Yeah, and I think the vision, this is Pewaukee School District presented, and I think, to me, that's the vision of where we want 4K to be, and you know, they've had an established program for a long time before they got to this point, but it gives us something to what are we hoping for, and they present their students with 12 different themes throughout the year, and so and what they've learned in researching other districts that have high-performing 4Ks is that the background knowledge that kids sometimes either don't have, is they're trying to expose them. Those themes are exposing kids from things from construction to space to weather to farm to table, the human body, journey in time. I mean, they have all these, and the kids get 3 weeks immersed, and they tie the curriculum and the standards to match those themes. So instead of, if it's the farm one, they're counting ears of corn versus just counting numbers and blocks, right? So it's trying to tie that in, and again, the research shows that helps grow their background knowledge, and which has a positive impact on their learning. So again, it's something that, and it was a community, somewhat of a community effort, school effort and community effort to build these classrooms, and the kids rotate between the classrooms, and so again, it's something for us to think about of a desired state down the road, but it was neat. I think there's some things, small things that we can do related to that even before we get to that end, so.
And I attended, this is my 11th year attending. This is the annual Wisconsin Association of School Board annual meeting held downtown at the convention center, along with 2 other associations, one for superintendents, the other for finance directors as well. So it was a combined education event, very well attended. I was the delegate assembly for the school board. I want to thank my colleagues for your recommendations in terms of how I should vote. There were 10 resolutions that I voted on, and we probably should put that on the website so that people know exactly what our position was for the school board. But this is where we go back to school, school board members, and I learned a lot, talked to a lot of my peers, talked to a lot of other leaders in education, and there's a lot of smart people out there, and I'm glad I attended, so it was worth my time. And also our former superintendent, Jeff Holmes, was there, and he mentioned to say hi to everyone, so it was good seeing everybody, so thank you.
Very good. Anyone else? Thank you. Item F, semester graduate update. Dr. Stousland.
Yes, just to announce, we approved at the December meeting a couple early graduates, and there's been one more, and that is Owen Wesky. So congratulations to Owen, and for him getting out of high school early. So
Congratulations. Mr. Soderberg.
And before we move on, I know this is not on the agenda, but next week is the annual Germantown Community Scholarship Fund Dinner. It is sold out. It's going to be an in-person event, so it's very exciting. I've been giving for 11 years, and though I'm not going to be attending the dinner this year, I am giving, and for those that are watching us, those that are here today, go out on their website, gcsfund.org, and give. They're a wonderful organization. They give monies to our teachers in terms of grants, and also give a lot of dollars, I believe $150,000.
Correct.
This past year to our students. So it's a wonderful event. So if you are able to give, give. So thank you.
Can you give that website again?
gcsfund.org.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are on to item 4, citizen comments. We have a couple people signed up tonight. Michelle Griffin-Wenzel, you're on first, and then we'll have Alyssa Powell on deck.
Hello, my name is Michelle Griffin-Wenzel, and I am the GEA representative for tonight's school board meeting. One item we want to bring up tonight is that some changes have been made to the proposed calendar for the 2022-23 school year compared to this year and last year's calendars. Some valuable time is going to be lost as it pertains to flex time for parent-teacher conferences at KMS and the elementary schools. We request that you table the vote on the calendar until this has been discussed by elementary and middle school staff and their administrators. The flex time is important for parent-teacher communication, especially in regard to student-led conferences, and allowing enough time for parents to have adequate time to meet with teachers. Please let me know if you have any questions tonight, and I will try to answer them if I can, or I will bring them back to the GEA leadership for follow-up. Thank you.
Thank you. And Alyssa.
Alyssa Paulo, Germantown. Just wanted to quick touch on the ESSER funds. I looked at the report that was put together. Overall, I think Brittany did a great job writing it, so props to her. One concern is some districts, not here, but some districts are choosing to use some of that ESSER funding to tie in things related to like CRT, DEI, and SEL. And so I would just ask that as we look at how to use that money, that we're very mindful that we're not compromising the integrity of our education by bringing in more of that stuff. If DPI were to bring down a mandate to say teachers and staff need DEI training, I'd like to propose looking into the organization FAIR. FAIR is the Foundation Against Intolerance and Racism, and they have a FAIR diversity group that is meant to provide DEI-like education for teachers and staff. And so it's a way that you can fill that requirement if that's something that DPI does require in the future, if they're going to link that to how the ESSER funds are distributed. FAIR is a nonpartisan organization. They have a really great board of advisors that have a very wide array of backgrounds and skill sets. And I think in the current political and cultural climate, FAIR is a really nice middle ground that can kind of help bring everyone back together and stay kind of focused on education and mutual respect and that pro-human agenda to try to bring everyone together. So if you go to fairforall.org, you can see all of the resources that they offer. Look at their board of advisors. I'm happy to send you materials, and I think it would be something beneficial for the staff. So thank you.
Thank you for that. Just to follow up on that, Alyssa, I have been doing my homework on the FAIR. I went to their website, and I have been receiving their emails, and I agree, it does look like a good site. At first blush, I think they have a lot of good things to offer, so I will be passing that on, and hopefully my colleagues will have a chance to look into that as well. Thank you. Okay, that's it for citizen comments. Moving on to item 5, approval of the minutes, December 20th, 2021 Board of Education and December 20th, 2021 closed session. Just a note on the Board of Education minutes, there was one typo, I believe was corrected, so we got that taken care of. Any other? I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve December 2021 Board of Education minutes and December 2021 closed session minutes with the change.
Second.
Tracy?
Tracy got it. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Item 6, Insurance Committee, update from January 10th, 2022 committee meeting. Mr. Barney?
Yeah, on January 10th, the Insurance Committee met with our health insurance consultant, USI, to restart the discussions on self-funding of health insurance. This is something the committee has been discussing for the past few years. USI thought we were in a good place now, so they're going to take our data from the last 5 years and do a little deeper dive to see if it projects a funding. Those projections should be available, if not the end of this month, if not in February, then early March, which will still give us time to look at implementing it before our January 2023 renewal. And as far as self-funding goes, it's not completely new to us. That's something we already do for dental insurance. So we're just looking at possibly doing it for health insurance to maybe save some money down the road.
Excellent. Any questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Barney.
Yep.
Moving on to item 7, Building Committee, update from January 10th, 2022 committee meeting. Mr. Pollock.
Thank you. Just a quick update. Mr. Erickson gave us his usual rundown of things that have either been worked on, fixed, or in process. The one item that was mentioned specifically was the Rockfield boilers going out on us on January 1st when the power had gone out. That's been fixed. That's been taken care of. Everything it seems to be working fine for us there. He also gave us an updated report on the GSF cleaning. We had a lengthier discussion on that. I would recommend anybody who's interested take a look at the video because we got into the weeds a little bit about what our thoughts were. Long story short, there was a meeting. Ms. Altendorf had sent the building committee an update on it. There's a plan of action. I think it was 6 or 7 different items that they were kind of laid out as far as what GSF will be doing, what we will be doing. One item I will share, since the board in general might be interested in it, is that GSF will be giving us an update at the Building and Grounds Committee meeting every month until the end of the year, and in 22-23 we'll have quarterly meetings unless we deem it necessary for monthly. So just one of those things where we're trying to bridge the gap as far as services that are being provided to us. We got a pool update, and then the admin building controls upgrade is basically complete at this point, and there might be some tweaking and such that might need to occur, but that's looking good for us as well. One of the things that Mr. Erickson did bring to us, per our request, we had asked for kind of a status report, a living document basically, as far as what are all of the different fixes, upgrades, et cetera, that need to be done at all of the schools. It's a little bit of timelines as well, which I found helpful, looking out several years so that we can kind of keep that in the back of our mind as we move forward. It'll be updated on a regular basis. We'll have access to it. We can see what might be going on. Ultimately, it's there for visibility and planning purposes, making sure we're aligned with the budget, but also, as been brought up before, where we can maybe see and find an opportunity to work ahead and take advantage of cost savings, if at all possible, similar to the admin building controls upgrade. Last thing from that meeting was a brief discussion about the status of the citizen at large for the committee, deadlines, et cetera, and that would be it from the committee perspective.
Okay, any questions? All right, thank you, Mr. Pollock. Moving on to item 8, Finance Committee. We did not have a Finance Committee, so we're going to approve the vouchers this evening. Mr. Lowe?
Correct. No Finance Committee meeting earlier this evening, so I did not have any questions for Brittany. I did not see any from Tom or Ray. None?
I didn't have any.
So I think we are good to go. The only thing, I should have emailed Brittany, the file for vouchers was dated January of 2021. However, the dates were January 2022, so we are okay on that. I'll let her know to just update the file name, and that's it. So I think, since we haven't done this before, I move to approve the January vouchers of 2022.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That passes. Thank you, Mr. Love. Item 9, new business, discussion and action to add teacher workday to the 2021-2022 calendar. Dr. Southland.
Thank you. One of the things that was presented to us in the form of a letter, and then I know someone addressed the board several weeks ago about creating a teacher workday, and this was, the person presenting was more focused on the elementary because the minutes, they have a lot of extra minutes compared to what is required for middle school and high school. But in conversations with GEA and just talking to middle school, high school, the sentiment was what a lot of those teachers have been giving up their prep time to cover because of the lack of subs and also lack of having just staff or have unfilled positions. And we are asking the board to consider taking one of the days in the calendar and make it a teacher workday. And GEA had suggested the date that was in between the third and fourth quarters, so they can kind of finish up and do their work on whatever they need to work on to end the quarter and get ready for the next quarter. We have received feedback in the last several days saying, instead of the middle of the week, to push it to a Friday. Two dates that were suggested were April 8th, which is a Friday, or Monday the 18th after Easter. I feel the 18th is too far away from the end of the quarter. The purpose of it really is to give the staff time to wrap up quarter 3 and start preparing for quarter 4. So I would suggest the 8th of April.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the change to make Friday, April 8th, 2022, a teacher workday instead of the regular student school day.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Thank you. Item B, discussion and action regarding 2022-23 open enrollment seats. Dr. Southland.
Thank you. You have in front of you as recent change in the law where you have to affirm your open enrollment seats in January for the following year. Hats off to Billy Joe, who has to do all the number crunching, looking at this year's numbers, looking at projections for growth enrollment, the number of classrooms and current teaching staff, and also knowing that we're adding 4K into some classrooms. And the one thing you don't want to do is have to add classrooms because of open enrollment, because you're not getting the full amount. So when we get an open enrollment student, we're getting $8,000 of the potential 12. So you don't want to be short on taking too many open enrollment. And so for regular open enrollment, Billy Joe has come up with, and we verified, that there be 4 in grade 4 at Amy Bell, and also in grade 4 in Rockfield, 6 and 3 seats available. So we're asking for 9 seats, or opening up 9 seats for 4th grade, and then for 4 seats for 5th grade at Rockfield School. And when families, if they apply for open enrollment, and let's say they get in as a 4th grader, they're not guaranteed a specific school. We place the students at whichever school makes the most sense, and we obviously try to be logical about that. The other part of open enrollment is you have to set your open enrollment seats for special education. And that's not based on necessarily like how many seats, but what your current caseloads are for your special ed staff. And historically, we have not taken open enrollment in special ed, and we're asking for the same reason. Caseloads are high, and just the shortage of staff that we've had all year. So the recommendation would be to take 13 open enrollment seats at the elementary level for grades 4 and 5, 9 and 4th grade, 4 and 5th grade, and then 0 for special education students.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve 13 new open enrollment seats in grades 4 and 5, as Mr. Stoughton explained, for the 2022-2023 school year, in addition to applications for existing students already attending Germantown schools that have moved, and approve 0 special education seats.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Thank you. Item C, discussion and action to approve 2022-2023 school year calendar. Dr. Southland.
I'll pass it
Mr.
off to
Nowak.
Mr. Nowak.
Thank you. The calendar committee this year met on multiple occasions. The committee consisted of school board member Amanda Reineman, KMS representative Leslie Delane, GHS representative Adam Johnson, elementary rep Sarah Siefkes and Amy Martin, and then from the administration, Brett Stousland, Joel Farron, Dana Crowett, Brandon Cole, and yours truly. We, as we have in other years, began the process really by laying the current calendar onto a projected next year calendar. That process worked this year as we looked at 22-23. To go over some of the highlights, first off, we'd have a September 1st start date, 2022. Through strategic placement of professional development and in-service days, we would end with a half day on June 9th, which is consistent with other area school districts. The 22-23 school year includes a day off prior to Thanksgiving, which, as in years past, was identified as a priority. Based upon placement of holidays during the week, the proposed 22-23 school year calendar includes a winter break with classes ending December 22nd and resuming January 3rd. The proposed 22-23 school year calendar includes a spring break with classes ending on March 24th and resuming on April 3rd. This is consistent with the majority of school districts in our area, specifically in CESA 1. The Easter break includes one day off on Friday, April 7th, 2023. The 22-23 school year calendar includes elementary teacher work days on Friday, October 14th and Friday, May 12th, 2023. That is new from this year. If you remember back, prior to the referendum, we always used a class list day, and we had to get away from that because of need to compact our schedule around construction and things like that. So this in some ways brings this practice back with another day scheduled for the fall. We know we can do that because of elementary minutes. We looked at this pretty closely and feel comfortable with offering that as part of this calendar. The only other thing I'm going to talk about is relative to the public comment and the flexible scheduling for conferences. And many of you are looking at your computers. In the days that are noted as blue, those are noted as in-service days. One of the things that we did a little differently, and I'll let Amanda speak to it too, with this build was that we held off on identifying what those in-service days specifically would look like. And those blue days also included time for flexible scheduling for conferences. So we know in no way, shape, or form want to disturb that. It's a positive practice that we want to continue and uphold. But we felt it was very important to have a new teaching and learning director in place as we work to define what those days would look like from a professional development standpoint. So we feel very good about kind of the breakdown of those days in terms of how much is work time, how much is PD time, but we really need that the right thing is to have someone in place that can have a say to some degree, have a feel for what we're doing and make it work. So again, though, to point out with the public comment, our intention is to allow for that flexible scheduling of conferences as was noted. Amanda, do you want to speak to some?
Just echoing, your comments, is we wanted to be mindful that we didn't have that position filled, the director in teaching and learning, and we wanted to have those placeholders for those dates, which I think we all agreed upon, but what they're actually used for will be decided a little later once we have that position filled, because obviously it's their role.
The critical piece to setting this
Yes.
calendar is really setting these dates down.
Right.
Defining them is.
Yeah, so we have the dates decided and set. Again, what they actually will entail is a later date, but they're set for now. And then conferences, as you stated, will be discussed later, and they will align with what we have done in the past. But those don't need board approval. So these are the dates that would need board approval.
Okay, any further questions? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt as presented the proposed 2022-2023 school year calendar.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Moving on to item D, discussion and action to approve contract for Director of Teacher and Learning. Dr. Stoughton.
Thank you. I'm going to pass it to Mr. Nowak in just a second, but just the little bit of the process, it was an accelerated process just because we wanted to get somebody in place. But we had 50 applicants for the position. We screened 15 applicants that had prior leadership experience. And from that screen, we did 6 interviews with people that we thought would be could be potentially a good fit. From that 6, 3 were brought forward to a larger committee of 27 people that was made up of 3 board members, parents, teachers at all levels. We probably had 35 people interested. We could fit about 27 in the room. If you were in the room, it was tight. And from that group, there was one candidate that really stuck out and was hands down the choice for the group, and that candidate is Chris Reuter, and he met with the school board earlier, the full school board, earlier this evening, and they can make any comments they would like, but before that, we'll have Mr. Nowak speak.
He stole my thunder. We're just asked that you consider the approval of 2 contracts, and this was something that took some work navigating. The reality of this is that we're looking at a contract for the remainder of the year, and we were very careful relative to what the language was in that contract, that it didn't roll, in essence. But at the same time, we want to propose the approval of a contract for the 22-23 and 23-24 school years that is in line with other administrators in the district. We're very excited about process. I've known Chris for some time, and I think he's going to be an excellent fit in the district.
Excellent. I see Mr. Reuter sitting here. I'll give you the opportunity if you'd like to introduce yourself to the community, give a little background of yourself.
And also decide what those calendar dates are going to be by tomorrow.
First order of business, I see. So I'm Chris Reuter. I'm excited to join the Germantown family and community and school district. I bring experience working at every level in public education as an elementary teacher, middle school principal. Previously, I held this role in Franklin Public Schools, as well as a high school principal. So I'm excited to bring my knowledge, but also, more importantly, learn from the community and work with our teachers and learn from our teachers about what's all the bright spots in Germantown, and Excelis is to continue to be a great school district.
Thank you. Thank you. Any further comments, questions?
Yeah, I'd just say, Chris, I'm excited having you come on board. We were in closed session and we asked a lot of questions. You satisfied all my questions, even though you're not a Bears fan, I get that. But I'm excited about this, so thank you.
Me too.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the hiring of Christopher Reuter as the Director of Teaching and Learning for the Germantown School District with a contract for the remainder of the 2021-22 school year. Additionally, approve the renewal of this contract with a 2-year contract for the 2022, 23, and 2023, 24 school years.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Congratulations, welcome aboard. Okay, item E, discussion and action to approve administrator contracts. Mr. Nowak.
Yeah, this is more me. I'm asking that the board approve all current administrators for a 2-year renewal in their contracts, except for Mrs. Susan Clymer, who has put in her letter of retirement effective at the end of June. So it would be everybody currently working except for Mrs. Clymer.
I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the administrator contracts for Germantown School District administrators for the 2022 through 2024 school years, with salary increases to be determined after July 1st, 2022, on an overall percentage amount determined by the board and individual administrator amounts determined by the superintendent.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah.
Mr. Wolf.
Does Mrs. Clymer need to be added in the motion, or are we good?
We're good.
We're good?
Yep.
Okay, just checking.
And that's a good question. It will come back with all the other retirements that come in February, is what Mr.
February
Noah-
15th is the
February-
date
February
for
15th is the date, but she's submitted her letter.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Moving on to item F, discussion and action to approve teacher contracts. Dr. Southland.
Mr. Nowak.
Mr. Nowak.
Thank you. We have 3 contracts to bring forward tonight. First off, Megan Neitzel, second grade teacher for Rockfield Elementary, is filling a position that resulted from an FMLA leave. This is a 106-day contract at $22,615. Next, Dawn Fulton, a third grade teacher at County Line Elementary, is filling a need created by an FMLA lead. This is a 65-day contract at $14,950. Finally, Amy Erickson, a second grade teacher at County Line Elementary. Amy is filling a position created by an FMLA leave. It's a 78-day contract at $19,500. We ask that you approve these contracts, limited term contracts, as noted.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the contracts as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Item G, discussion and action to approve Germantown High School DECA overnight travel request. Can you define DECA for us?
Yeah. The Distributive Education Clubs of America.
Very good.
There you go. So the advisors, Steve Martin and Jason Ballman, are requesting the Board of Education for 2 things: to approve the travel with the DECA students to Lake Geneva Resort for a DECA competition on Tuesday, February 22nd through Thursday, February 24th. The trip will consist of 11 students and 2 advisors. The advisors are asking the Board of Education to pay for the transportation cost for all, as well as expenses for both the advisors. The students will pay for the registration and hotel expenses. Student portion is about $2,575, which they'll pay for, and they pay for it through a lot of the fundraising that they've done as well. The travel cost for the buses is estimated at $440, and then the advisors, for 2 advisors, it's a total of $680, leaving it at $1,120 to pay for the advisors and the travel.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the overnight travel request for the Germantown High School DECA program to travel to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin from February 22nd, 2022 to February 24, 2022 as presented.
Second?
Any discussion?
Yeah, real quick, Mr. Stousland, excuse me, Dr. Stousland, can you verify?
Mr.'s okay.
Can you verify whose budget that is coming out of?
I cannot. It'll come out of the district's budget. And it's a great question, because this was the first one that, the first request that's come since I've been here requesting for funds. Like, I think Palms came, you know, and they did a lot of fundraising, and I think some of their, like, in a Palm situation, the registration fees pay for it, you know, that what, they just added, whatever, $50 or $100 to their cost. And my understanding with this one, because I did ask some questions, is that when students are raising money for trips, it's not intended to pay for the adults, and that's why they're asking for that. So, and I know there's a Fund 21 where there are, you know, student funds. I don't know, like, which bucket it will come from, but.
Sure.
In the past, we've taken some of it out of the board contingency fund.
And Amanda, I know previous boards, we've had lots of discussion on this, on whether or not we should fund activities like this. And the consensus was that, yes, we should, because we pay for travel for our sporting teams. Why wouldn't we pay for travel for this and also for overnight stays? So.
Yeah, and I'm obviously seconded that, so I'm not
Exactly.
denying that whatsoever. I'm just wanting to verify what budget it's
I think,
coming out
actually,
of.
I thought about though, I think it'll be the teaching and learning budget.
Great,
There you go.
Okay, any further questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes, and we wish our DECA team all the best. Item 10, we will not be going into closed sessions. We handled all of our closed session items earlier, so I'll entertain another motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:57. Thank you all for coming, and drive home safely.